to where he was in the survival mindset, which is why Code at near the start of the Code arc when he first meets Kawaki and he's basically saying, Kawaki, you're not as skinny as you used to be. That line is so impactful. It's to show that Kawaki found something. Yeah. He's actually living now. His
you could also
have dulled, but that's okay.
You could argue this is a stretch, but you could argue that, well, obviously, I mean, Kara's the husk. It should be something shriveled up. It's empty. Blah blah blah. This would be exaggerating Kawaki's skinniness, but if you were to exaggerate it to like a shriveled up skinny Kawaki to a now not fat but like not shriveled up, just filled out Kawaki, you could argue from that perspective it's going from being empty to not empty. Because at the end of the Kawaki arc, his heart's filled. Gotta get screwed up soon after, but for a brief moment it was.
Okay. You know, I would say it's filled, but it still has that same chip in it that the vase had that he never found. Because it drained.
Well, okay, it depends, because you could argue for a brief moment, that brief moment being the final Ishiki confrontation that he had accepted himself, you could argue that like he acknowledged himself there, the hole was sealed, and then it got reopened immediately after with Momoshiki.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or you could argue it was filled, but the hole was always still there.
Okay.
Depends on whether you think Kawaki actually acknowledged himself in that moment or not.
Okay. That's interesting. That would also be like Ada love coolness there as well. The moment Kawaki was filled was the moment she fell in love with him.
Well, so that's been my theory, because just briefly addressing it, I mean, I said this in my latest video, but it's the only fight he doesn't use ninjutsu. It's when he says, like, I'm a ninja, Naruto said I was, I'm blah, 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 I'm accepting, I'm not the vessel, blah, blah, blah. That's the moment Ada fell in love with Kawaki, which would mean she would have fallen in love with Kawaki when he acknowledged himself. But then, soon after, is when Momoshika's like, you're Atsuki, Amato's like, you're Atsuki, and then all the Kodak shenanigans happen, and it's like, now Kawaki views himself as an Atsuki. He's saying, you shinobi to Sarada, you shinobi to Naruto, and so on. Whereas, what do you say to Ishiki? Yeah, I'm a ninja. How does he fight? That fight, like a ninja, and the other fights, not like a ninja. So, I would personally argue he did acknowledge himself, but he unacknowledged himself afterwards, versus it never being acknowledged.
Kamui, I wasn't on board, and I was pretty confident you weren't going to change my mind, but you actually did it. You actually, okay, I'm on board. No, you got me on that. Okay, I'll give you that, because no, I like that, because Momoshiki being the thing to reopen that wound, it adds so much depth to the Code arc, and obviously the Prophecy arc.
Yeah, so, funnily enough, I need to finish this Kawaki video that's like 2 years old, because like it's 2 years old. Stop.
Oh god.
Can't believe how long it's taken me. Actually, I think I wrote most of that video at the point when Kawaki said, follow the shinobi's orders in like chapter 1 or something like that. Like I was like, oh, he's still saying it, and I just hammered down.
You know, I think I remember you telling me about that video now. Like 2 years ago.
I know, and then like I took a portion of it out. So actually, I know it's been 2 years at least, probably, because part of the Ada video, I took a brief excerpt, cut and paste, put it in the Ada video, and that video was over a year old. And I did the Kawaki one first. At least it's like a year and a half old or something.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember, like, how long ago did we talk to Michael Schwalbe? Well, before that too.
Yep.
I need to finish that. On the bright side, though, it's an analysis, so it doesn't really matter. But
okay.
All right.
Anyway. Oh, right. Immortal, do you have another topic, or do you want us to present one?